Kirby Air Riders could be the greatest kart racing game ever made, and honestly, I think that is very well justified. Michiru Sakurai made a masterpiece of a game by the looks of it of 2 trailers. Now the first trailer, it was just like, well, this game looks good, but I don't know if it's fully going to be the greatest thing ever. But we just recently got the second trailer, and this showed otherwise. This will be the greatest kart racing game ever made. But what if you're saying, what about Mario Kart? You had Mario Kart Double Dash, Mario Kart Wii, and you had so many other fantastic Mario Kart games. Isn't that not just bad game now? No, hold on to your horses. Mario Kart still is a fantastic game, it still is a fantastic masterpiece, but right now, looking at it in 2025, we haven't seen really a game with this much amount of content since 2016. But overall, we're looking at this with pure sights to see, is it actually going to be the greatest kart racing game ever? If you like Mario Kart, if you like Sonic Cross Worlds, if you like Forza Horizon, hey, that's awesome. You know, you have your own opinion, and that is completely okay. If you don't agree with 100% of things that I say, that's completely okay. So anyways, with that out of the way, let's get straight into it. So now for starters, the pure amount of things that you can do in Kirby Air Riders has really got so many players. Wow, this game really looking so good. Like the pure amount of tracks. Now it might not be as many tracks as Mario Kart World with only 18 tracks to choose from, but 18 tracks still is a pretty hefty amount of tracks because track length in this game honestly is pretty long, I would say, but just because there's not enough tracks doesn't mean that this just is boo, not enough tracks, because hey, the pure amount of game mode, content, and other things really makes it stand up above the rest. You don't need the most amount of tracks to have a fun time in a Mario Kart game. Like Mario Kart World had 30 tracks, but that still isn't the greatest thing when you look at it, comparing it to Kirby Air Riders. Kirby Air Riders has a lot of different game modes, and if you weren't living under a rock, you'll know that the big subject nowadays is Kirby Air Riders versus Mario Kart World. These two games can't last together, so one of them, we gotta shoo it out of here. Now that's completely not true, but hopefully everybody calms down with all of this sort of stuff. But overall, Kirby Air Riders has stuff like top-down racing, where you're able to race top-down, kind of like you're controlling an AC car, which is really cool. City Trials, one of honestly the greatest game modes of all time, because hey, you can just collect a whole bunch of things, and then eventually at the end of your city trial, you go off to a game mode, a special unique game mode for that city trial, which is cool. Collect different powers, collect different things. You can make yourself your own different boost formula. Like Michiru Sakurai said, you can't go and collect everything because then your kart is not going to work together. But it's a little bit hard to go and get the specific speed boost or go and get specific adjustments for your kart. Overall, it's a very, very interesting game mode. But not only that, there is a full-blown story mode in this game, which is honestly really cool. You can go and start off with pretty much nothing, and then as you rank up, you get more and more things for your kart. And speaking of kart, you can fully customize that kart as well. You can go on online battles with your fully one-of-one custom-made kart. No one in the world is going to have the same kart as you unless you straight up copy it from someone else. But overall, it's going to be something really, really awesome, and honestly, I like. Unlike previous games, you will fully have the chance to unlock everything in this game. So as you play through the game, you will unlock more and more and more characters, which honestly is really awesome. And this just shows that this is going to be a masterpiece of a game, and honestly probably the greatest game of all time. But like any other kart racing games, you might just say, okay, so we got racing in other games, we got some weird goofy game modes in other games, but do we have boss fights? Now, boss fights in Kirby Air Riders is actually going to be a thing which you can team up with a whole bunch of players and take down this boss fight, which is going to be very, very insane, and it's going to make for a chaotic match with trying to take down certain boss fight in a Kirby Air Ride game, which is super cool, by the way. And have you ever seen in a game, a kart racing game like this, unlike Forza, but this game right here, you can get off your kart and you can walk around in your own garage picking the kart that you want to choose, which is really, really awesome for a kart racing game. Do I want to use the Wingstar? Do I want to use this star looking thing that I customized to my heart's content? Well, that is completely up to you. Pick whatever cart you want and get going. You can show your friends your garage, and you can use this to your open world thing. So you can go, hey, alright, so I'm going to use this cart and I'm going to test it out in my open world. So you can drive around with your cart, which is really awesome. But not only cart customization, you get a full-blown driver's license. So unlike any other game before, this game actually has a driver license that honestly shows your stats. You get a unique number for your driver's license. You can customize that driver's license, and also it shows what ranking you are in the top world leaderboard. Are you in top 1,000? Are you in top 100,000? Are you in top 1,000,000? Or are you in like a billion if there's a billion players that bought this game? Probably not, but you just straight up suck at the game. Whatever it is a very, very cool feature that honestly I wish more kart racing games has implemented even more of. And even previously speaking of boss fights, you get the stadium, which is going to be a sort of like Mario Party game modes, which honestly is really cool. Sometimes you can smash buttons and you have to get more and more buttons. Other times you're going to have to be super, super fast, dodging lasers and stuff like that. Other times there's going to be boss fights that you have to handle, and overall it's going to be very, very awesome. There's also going to be a little hub world where you can wait with other players inside this little hub world. You can run around, interact with them. There's going to be things that you can do inside this hub world, which overall is awesome. And I truly think that this game definitely deserves to be the greatest game ever after that one. And I forgot to mention the power-ups. Now, usually in some sort of kart racing game like these ones, like Mario Kart, like Sonic, like all of the kart racing games that have sort of cartoony, I would say, you had power-ups that do different things. Like in Mario Kart, you had shells, you had bullet bills, you had mushrooms, you had all of those unique things. This time around, you get actual Kirby power-ups. There's going to be different enemies. You can suck them up and you can use their power to your advantage. Different enemies or different characters as a whole will have different power-ups. Like some, you will be able to swing from spider webs like you're some sort of Spider-Man, or you can suck up the power and then use that power to your heart's content. Or maybe you'll get a giant hammer or something like that, which is honestly a really cool feature, and I wish more kart racing games would allow it to have different characters, would have different power-ups and different things, and they do a whole bunch of different things, which honestly is the coolest thing about something like this. But not only that, there's some weird little gummy things, so you can do missions and races and you'll get gummy carts, a special variant of that cart, which is honestly really, really cool. So hey, you can give that a try. The pure meow music in this game is also really cool, so you can go ahead, just like Super Smash Bros., and pick out any track that you wanted. There will be tracks from previous Kirby games like Triple Deluxe, Planet Robobot, and previous other games, which honestly really is cool. You can just tell that this will be a one-of-a-kind game and the greatest kart racing game that's ever lived. But overall, it's going to be awesome, and I think that this is what it is. This is peak kart racing game as a whole, and nothing else will be able to stand up unless they cut battle passes. They cut things like having to buy a DLC for that kart racing game that you just paid for, and they cut all of those things. I feel like Mario Kart World would have been 100 times better if they just kept releasing content. Not paid content, but content like Mario Kart Tour. Maybe they could have done a Mario Kart World version on iOS, just so we can see that kart racing sort of thing that you're able to just keep getting updates, like a Christmas update, like a Halloween update. Like, they could have done this. They feel like they only care about their iOS and Android variants of those apps, because if you look at something like Pokémon Unite or any of Nintendo's free games, those games will keep getting updates and updates and updates, and you know, the player base definitely would have had such a better time with Mario Kart World if that was the case. Being able to just get free update, constant things that really would make the game 100 times better, but it just looks like Nintendo definitely hasn't done that, so maybe the hate is justified for that game. That's the only time that I would stand on something like that. Usually I don't like to hate on games, but when something is clear as day as really, really amazing, sometimes it's just a little bit hard to fully pull back your hatred. Probably not your hatred, but more like your argument on things that they could implement in that game. But overall, Kirby Air Riders is hands down going to be the greatest kart racing game ever. And honestly, all of these things aside, I think it's going to be amazing. all of these things, it's just going to be super good. An amazing kart racing game, and something that you're probably going to have the best amount of time with. May you be a Kirby fan or may you not be a Kirby fan, this game probably is right for you. But anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you have a fantastic day, and consider to hit the like button, maybe subscribing if you're new. And with that being said, see you in the next one.